You know, LeBron was hitting some unbelievable shots, but I give our team a lot of credit for answering, and we just kept answering. You know, they have a possession where they couldn't really get a whole lot going, and LeBron jumped up and hit a contested three. And we'd have a possession where we couldn't get a whole lot going. Marcus or Chandler or Carlos would jump up and hit a tough three. So, you know, that was a tough fight. And both teams going at each other. You know, but they got the last punch in. So, disappointed we lost. But I'm not disappointed in our effort.
Coach, I know there are no moral victories, but how important is it for a young team like this, especially if they're falling behind 22-5, to be there in one of those crunch time games against a world champion, world-class team like Miami?
On a night when they really played well too. I give Miami credit for. I mean, they played well at both ends. But you know, when it was 20-5 or 22-5, whatever it is, I called timeouts early, and you know, those guys are good. And after what, you know, they got punched in the mouth last night. You know, they were going to come out and try to punch us in the mouth early. We had to withstand the early onslaught. But at the same time, make sure we're aggressive. You know, just because they want to punch us in the mouth, I mean, we can't punch them back in the mouth. I mean, we're here to play too. But I didn't think that we were the aggressor early. When you play a team like Miami, you can't be on the receiving end. You've got to go hit them. And I thought once we got our footing, once we got going, and realized that we can win this game. At some point, you have to tell yourself we can win this game. You have to give yourself permission to win the game. And once we gave ourselves permission, we felt like we could. That's why those guys in that locker room are so disappointed now. This was a game they felt like they could have won.
The ball movement was really good for maybe 40 minutes out of the 48. The last 2 minutes,
yeah.
any consideration to either setting a screen for Harden or kind of continuing what you guys?
Yeah, I waved off a couple because Miami's, anytime that you set a screen with the lineup that they had on the floor, they were going to switch it. So looking back, maybe some misdirection stuff is something we'll just have to learn from. But James felt like he could beat the matchup that he had and get to the basket, maybe create. He did a couple of times and kicked one out to Marcus for a three. He kicked it cross court to Carlos for a three. You know, he made the plays, but the problem with Miami screening them, especially late in the clock, is that they're just going to switch and make you play sideways.
Do you see anything in Chandler's DNA that seems to make him play to the level of the competition? It seems when he has a star in front of him, it tends to bring out the best in him.
Well, Chandler's a winner. You know, he's a winning player. Not a lot of people value that. I think that's why he was at 38th. Is that right, Jason? 38th pick in the draft. You know, we search and look under rocks for the most talented guys, but sometimes the guys that help you win the most are guys that have the great intangibles. And I think that's Chandler's greatest quality.
When Wade went to the line with 8.2 left, were you intending not to call timeout and just go? And is that why Omer didn't come in for the free throws?
Say that again?
When Wade went to the line last time, 8.2, I think it was left.
No, I was always going to call timeout. Yeah.
And why not with Omer to help on that rebound?
Yeah, if I had to do that over again, probably would have. But you know, when it's a long rebound like that, I don't know. You know, you always say woulda, shoulda, coulda in these kinds of games. But if I had to do it over again, I would have probably done a couple things different. One was not put him in then, but put him in before the first free throw.
In a game like this, with the way it ended, how do you get the guys to maybe focus on the positives? Because they did do a lot of things right, you know, after the first quarter.
Absolutely. If they didn't, they wouldn't have been in a position to win. You know, in a game like this, you're always going to focus on one or two plays at the end. And I just remember telling myself at the 3-minute mark, 2-minute mark, when LeBron was jumping up, hitting those threes, that you know, we've got to answer. You know, those threes that he was making. Of course, I've seen him do that before. When I was in Milwaukee, I saw him get 55 one night. That's why he's the best player in the world. He makes those shots, but we'll bounce back. These guys are resilient. You know, we had 3 tough games that we lost, and we were out in all 3. And this was another. I mean, You can make an argument that we could easily be, what's our record, 3-4? We could easily be 6-1, 5-2. And then you get to choose the attitude you want. I mean, we take attitude that we're good enough to beat these teams. But you know, we got our defense was tightened up down the stretch, and they were shooting the shots we wanted them to shoot. You know, one of the last timeouts we changed our pick and roll coverage because LeBron was coming off dropping that pocket pass into Bosch, and instead of covering that like we did, we decided to switch those because Bosch was screening LeBron. We had Marcus and Patrick defending the pick and roll, so we decided to switch it, and that forced them to shoot contested threes. But give them credit, they were making them.
Obviously, the shot doesn't go, but overall, would you be happy in the same circumstance to have Jeremy get that same look?
If it's as wide open as it was, I can never, ever, ever be disappointed when a player has a wide open shot. If that shot goes in, we like our chances.
Thank you. Practice starts at 12.